Preview.
So pretending again that I sit in the C-suite, can I run an accelerated sale process and run another option, like continue to pursue a financing option or continue to, look at other options? Can you run both
Yeah.
processes at the same time?
Yeah, we get that question a lot, and the answer is yes. Because in reality, they're different processes, but you by running them in parallel, and in fact, it's even better than that because oftentimes you can use one to leverage the other. So if all of a sudden you're running an accelerated process and then you're going back and trying to raise fundraising, if all of a sudden you see that there's excitement in the accelerated process, you can use that information to provide to the investors to show, hey, look, we're not just telling you this is good, the market is telling us. In addition, you can also use it to force things because a lot of times getting funding, getting investors in, getting other people, that takes some time. And you don't really have you can say to them, oh, we need to move quickly or we need to do this. But in reality, if instead you're saying, oh, there are other people at the table, there are other things there, you can help push them. And it's real. It's not just them hearing, oh, they're just telling me that. And if they're telling me that, maybe that's an indicator of something else. So maybe even if I slow down, I might end up with a better deal. If people know that there's another buyer, another opportunity there, that's great. But even if you don't play one, you don't have to play them against the other, but at least you know internally that you've got an ability to drive timelines. And you can be honest when you say to somebody who's an investor, hey, we've only got 45 days to do this. And they can say, oh, well, I don't believe you. It's like, no, board says this. And if not, we've got other options.
Interesting. So what if I have a secured lender? How does a secured lender play into that accelerated sale process?
I think the realities are when you have a secured lender, it really depends on the lender. I mean, different lenders look at things differently. If a lender immediately sees that you're that you're facing a challenge, but all of a sudden sees that you've got a ton of cash, a ton of inventory, and a ton of other things, and they're concerned that you don't really have a well-developed plan for trying to get out of this and making sure that the lender is going to be taken care of, the lender may react negatively. What our experience is, however, if when we go into this process, if we're able to lay out specific timelines, expectations, and milestones along the way, and knowing that there's a third party involved, the lender is willing to work with you as long as you're being respectful and explaining to the lender, hey, while we're out in the sale process and we're looking for, we're also would be excited to find the home run. We also understand where you are. And because we have experience doing that, we're going to make sure that we don't forego any opportunity that allows this to be, at whatever level it's going to be, as opposed to we're only going to focus on the big deals. And if something else, just because it takes care of you, it's not going to be as important. You're not going to get the lender's support. So it's really about transparency in your process, what you're going to do, and being able to lay that plan out with the lender so that the lender knows what you're doing, and then living against the plan. If you're adjusting, letting them know. But also, as I said, the benefit is they're going to get feedback from the market here. They're going to see that you've done the outreach, and then they're going to find out how many NDAs got signed in 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, that's going to give them comfort that no amount of talking and saying nice things is gonna solve that with a lender. They want to see results. They want to see action.
What about my vendors? I've got vendors, they're calling, they haven't been paid in a while. What do I say to them? Do I tell them about a process? Help me understand what I need to do with them.
It's a great question, and it's probably a little nuanced. It depends a lot on the situation. It depends a lot on where the vendor is, whether they're critical and important, whether they're owed a little bit or a lot of money. Ultimately, though, you're going to have to give some visibility to your vendors if you're going to want them to, quote unquote, cooperate with the process. but being able to explain to the vendors that you're aware of where it is. You're asking them to be patient. If you think it's going to be 60 days, you ask them to be patient for 90 so that you can beat the expectations. And then you're going to have to communicate with them, but you are going to have to be honest. You can't just say, oh, well, we're going to, checks in the mail, or we're going to take care of it. You have to be honest, but you also have to explain to them that what you're trying to do is accomplish that soft landing that's going to make them likely better off than if they just kind of took action without being, without any of that. But we find most of the people that just take action are ones that are angry and mad, and it's typically because they feel they've been misled or they feel that they're not getting information.